Hello and welcome to today's Tech Nugget series by Coking.com. I'm Evan Hyde, one of the SMEs with our team. Today we're going to be talking about calling a valve by its name. And when I say that, what I mean is basically around the delayed coker unit, we do everything in pairs. So we have two drums is a module, and each drum module has basically the same valves as each module. And there's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 drum cokers in the world. And it can get a little bit confusing when you're talking about what valve is getting its action at a certain given time. So there are some sites that have developed a specific nomenclature for calling a valve by a number and a letter, and this has the ability to be very quick and precise, but it also has the ability of allowing the operator that's operating that valve to not necessarily always be thinking about what the purpose of that valve is. So I'll give you a couple examples. Our friends at Foster Wheeler have really put their mark on the industry by developing a very succinct set of nomenclature for their valves. And those of you who work in a Foster Wheeler unit know this intrinsically, and some of you who work in a Bechtel or Lummus unit maybe say, hey, that's a little strange, but I get it. So let me give you an example. So after the switch valve, when the flow is going towards the drum, you encounter a valve, a very important valve for the safety of the unit. It could be called SP6 in the Foster Wheeler nomenclature, or it could be called the feed inlet isolation valve. And by calling it its proper name, you have to give yourself just that little bit of time to say, okay, I'm manipulating the feed inlet isolation valve. And if you were to go a little bit further downstream, you might encounter SP7. And SP7 is the utility header isolation valve. This is the valve that separates all the utilities that we do in the offline drum cycle steps from the primary feed inlet isolation valve. By always referring to the valve by its specific name, you will be thinking about its action. And this has ramifications primarily for safety, but also for the overall reliability of the unit. So I would encourage you to not only learn the numbers of the valves, HV3704, and call that out over the radio, but when you are manipulating the vapor downstream isolation valve versus the coke drum upstream vapor isolation valve, you have to think about what is the order of the flow. You think about what's going on in the process. Is this the right cycle step that I should be manipulating this valve? Because despite our best efforts, even with very robust interlock schemes, we still make mistakes. So this is the type of detail that we go over in our trainings and on our website. If you enjoyed today's Tech Nugget, I would encourage you to visit us at Coking.com, obviously the internet's best resource for all things delayed coking technologically. Or you could attend one of our trainings at RefCom. The refining community is one of the best conferences, in my humble opinion, to really learn boots on the ground, lessons learned, and about new technology for a variety of process units for refiners and vendors alike. We're available on all the social media outlets, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Thanks for watching.